going to see a little bit contrasting style in this bout. Hey, there's Adam Wheeler. Maybe I can get him over here for a little bit.
All right. Huichen Chang of China. Robert Barbour of the United States.
He was also second in the 2009 FIBA Junior World Team Trials.
Huichen Jiang of China.
Jiang, 96 kilos.
Robert Barbour.
Was ninth in the 2008 Olympic Games.
A very low center of gravity for Barbour in the blue.
2009 World Cup.
Two-on-one grip by Barbour. He'll try to drive his Chinese opponent out. "30 seconds gone by, first period here at 96 kilos at the 2010 Kit Carson Cup. China versus the U.S. developmental squad at Northern Michigan.
Hey, we got a big treat here. We got Adam Wheeler, who actually wrestled this opponent in the Olympics, going to join us for this match and a few more.
All right, so added insight by Mr. Wheeler, Adam Wheeler, coming on to the broadcast to talk some Greco. Pride of Lancaster, California. Or do you guys say it Lancaster?
Lancaster.
I see. Pennsylvania's Lancaster. Virginia's Lancaster. Anyway, Gary Abbott tells us you wrestled this opponent in the Olympics.
Yep, he was actually, I wrestled him in my quarterfinals match. Can't tell by looking at him really, but he's one of those guys that has that deceivingly strong with a great reverse lift, and he actually hit me with that in the first period twice in a row.
So interesting. He comes to wrestle the United States, and he gets you, or you're like 6'12", and then you got Mr. Barbour, who's probably about 5'8".
Yep, and it's kind of a funny story too about that, because the Chinese guys have a guy that's built just like Mr. Barbour, and I actually wrestled him before the Olympics here last year too. So just kind of weird matchups.
So 30 seconds, we're in parterre, 96. Barbour quickly up to his feet and out.
That's the thing.
1 point push out.
The thing with Barbour is he's so short, got that low center of gravity, and he's really explosive. So kind of type of guy that's going to be hard to hold down by anybody.
22 seconds here to go. First period at 96 kilos. Robert Barbour of the United States tries to almost kind of pull his opponent in with the arm drag, hanging on the head. Now that's something I've noticed about.
Yeah, that's actually.
No, why would you stop the match and tell him that? Don't tell him that during the match, because they got on the Chinese heavyweight, the giant, against Brandon Rupp earlier in the tournament. 2 hands on the head.
Yeah, it's generally just a warning.
And Ike's going to throw in the block. That should be actually a caution 1, should it not? Or can they challenge that?
No, they generally give a warning for that. That's kind of a common thing you'll see, but
well,
every ref's different, I guess.
Ike's going to attempt to throw in the challenge. He's, you can't review that. The period's over. Yeah. Ike makes a good point. It is technically illegal. Robbie Smith was over there going, hey, that's illegal. So what's Adam Wheeler up to these days?
These days, I'm just working. Actually, down here in Colorado Springs, just had a kid about 3 months ago.
Oh, congratulations.
Doing the family life type thing now. So it's good to get in here and get to see the wrestling, because I don't really get in the room as often as I'd like to anymore.
Family life. Let's see, we was, 9th or 10th grade?
What's that?
Part of PE, wasn't it? No. Or FIED, or however you want to call it. Anyway, still waiting to see what the decision's going to be. I guess... I don't know if you could hear that. Ike's complaining. He goes, you guys all saw it. I guess they are going to challenge. So, I mean, the Chinese probably weren't very keen on that call in the first round, where their heavyweight Deli Lu actually almost came within a caution point of being disqualified. And then he got pinned by Brandon Rupp, basically a bar, and just drove it over. And Barbour, just short, I guess squatty and stocky would be the terminology. Just quite the antithesis of one Adam Wheeler.
Right. The guy that one Adam Wheeler had a lot of trouble with. Those kind of guys, for me, being taller, were hard to hold down, and to get the leverage going on them.
Well, with the long arms too, you got to pull them more distance than they've got to. For Barbour to lock up a gut wrench or lift somebody, he doesn't have a whole lot of room to go.
Right. That's the plus side to being short and explosive like that is going to be getting away from people on bottom, and that's probably a better maneuver than trying to fight a gut wrench with someone that's so much taller than him.
All right, so we'll see what the final call is here, and caution 1 blue.
See, that's
but then they got to put time back on the clock. They need to put time back on the clock.
That's a good call. I've never actually seen somebody get in a point for that. So.
For a challenge on the caution? Well,
yeah.
Time needs to go back on. That's for sure. No, there was still time on the clock. The Chinese are like, man, that's the 4th time we've been hit with that. Interesting, anyway. Well, actually, so Barbour's going to win the period, technically. So we'll reset all our glorious technology here. You're watching the 2010 Kit Carson Cup on themat.com. Jason Bryant here, along with our special guest, Adam Wheeler, and that's a big 3-point throw by the big Chinese kid.
Yep, he's like I said, the Chinese guy is deceiving. He's really calm demeanor, but he'll explode and hit great moves like that.
And when you say calm demeanor, he's not a dirty guy. He's not going to throw any slaps at you, that type of thing, or
right. If you just look at his demeanor on his face, he's real calm. He's not going after crazy things. He knew he lost the first period, but it's not getting to him where he's trying to do crazy moves and lose any more points than that. So I guess the key is winning 2 out of 3 periods. So that first period doesn't really mean anything if you lose the next 2.
So 1:10 to go. 3-0 lead in this period for Haichen Jiang of China. 9th in the 08 Olympics. 5th in the 09 World Cup.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that he was at the Dave Schultz tournament here in 2008 and actually had to wrestle Justin Ruiz, who I think Justin beat him pretty good at that tournament also.
Well, Justin's back wrestling again after a year off, so that's going to make 96 a little thicker. R.C. Johnson out with an injury. Probably won't see him again until trials.
Yeah, that weight seems like it's getting tougher, and with Justin back, that's just throwing a whole another world medalist back into the mix. So the U.S. should be pretty solid in that weight class.
Well, let's see what we got here. Barbour will go down. Actually, Jiang does not need to score with virtue of a 3-0 lead.
So if I was Barbour, I'd still try to get away because that reverse lift, you never know. But yeah, he's probably just going to sit calm and sit on his lead.
Well, with the way the rule changes happened after the 08 Olympics, how do you think you would fare with the way they've shifted it to 90 seconds on their feet?
I actually liked going on my feet. I thought one of the things that I was good at was my conditioning and wrestling on my feet. Had a problem. My problem for a while before the Olympics was actually my parterre, so I think this would have been good rules for me.
Uh-oh. And there goes Barbour over.
And that should be 2 points.
Yeah, so now a 5-0 lead. 10 seconds to go. Looks like Jiang's just going to be content to... Actually, no, he's kind of showing he might have a lift. 5-3, 2-1, and that'll be the period. So we're going to go to a third period.
That's what keeps wrestling exciting is he could have just sat on there and took his 3-0 win for this period, but he decided to score some more, and that's the kind of wrestling that at least I know our coaches and I know the spectators probably like to see a little bit more of that type.
I'd like to see some throws, that's for sure. I haven't seen any 5-pointers today.
Okay, well maybe
at least not over here.
Hopefully we'll get one this period, and hopefully it's from
Barbour's
the USA.
favor. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the back, he doesn't have a whole lot of back to arch.
Nope. Could look like a 3-point throw and still be over his head, but you never know. He's the type of guy that, like I said, could just explode a lot quicker than someone that's a lot taller. So
Talon Knox wrestling over on the far mat. And we're set to come back here to the third period. One thing all the coaches have said is the amount of international experience. And how much international foreign opponents did you actually get to wrestle before the Olympic Games?
I've actually wrestled I was counting them up the other day in my head, and not counting our tournaments in the U.S. that I don't think I missed a tournament in the U.S. since 2004. I was at all the Dave Schultz and New York Athletic Club, Sunkiss Kids tournaments here, but on top of that, I think I traveled overseas probably 20, 25 times just to get that competition. And going into the Olympics, I pretty much knew everyone I was going to wrestle or have seen them wrestle at some point or another.
Well, you also spent the 2007 World Championships over in Baku as a training partner. How did that experience help?
That was probably the biggest thing for me was going over there, and I was fortunate enough to go over there and help out Justin that year, and just getting to see the competition at that level when everyone's in their peak, it really changed things a little bit for me as far as, seeing the guys there, knowing I've wrestled half of them before and that I've done pretty well with some of them, and then also just knowing that, every year a different guy's winning or placing or something like that, it kind of gave me the confidence that if I have a good tournament at the Olympics or if I make the Olympic team, I'd be able to do something pretty good.
45 seconds ago, third period. No score with Jiang and Barbour. If we go to parterre, white paddle. White paddle, all right. A little slow in the officials. Now we go to parterre, and Jiang is going to be in control in the top position, and probably not where Barbour wants to be. He's going to try to defend.
So here's the time that would be a good time to try to escape. Otherwise, this Chinese guy's pretty good on top, in the top position. If you don't get away from him right away, he's got a lot of different things that he could go to.
Okay, so the Chinese wrestler's saying, I want to lock. He had choice. He had more points cumulative, so he goes, I want to be on top. And he's like, okay, yeah, we got it. A little lost in translation here. Goes right to the gut. Barbour trying to crawl out.
He's already lifted him once, so it looks like he might be trying to go to that type of maneuver again.
Is Barbour trying to slip a headlock in? No, nothing yet. And there's a hand-to-hand.
That's 1 point.
Yep.
And now all he's got to do is sit. Let's see if he tries another maneuver like he did in the second period just for solidifying the win. Yep, and he does.
Starts to move in bounds. Challenge block's going to come flying. I don't know why. That clearly looked like 1-1 to me. Ike just might want to get some more camera time.
Yeah.
I don't see what's challengeable there.
I don't see anything that he was doing illegal. Barbour had his head. It all seemed legit to me, but I guess we'll find out what the officials have to say about that.
Well, they also, the issue, I always have the issues with the challenge in the clock. We're going to go over to video technician Chris Moen, see what's going on. So 3-0 is the score, but Ike Anderson throwing the challenge brick. Figure out what's going on. I think he might be challenging as a leg foul, or he should have gotten some points for the headlock. Oh, what are your thoughts?
To me, it looked good. They might have a different angle from what I saw, but for me, it just looked like pretty good defense from the bottom guy, Barbour, at that time, and it didn't look like he was doing anything that he shouldn't have been doing. The Chinese guy, that was a good gut wrench, and I guess we'll just have to see what they think.
Yeah, what's challengeable? That's what I'm trying to figure. So I don't know. Maybe they're looking for a leg foul. I'm not sure. Maybe it was.
I heard some of the guys over there by Robbie Smith yelling, so maybe they had a different angle on something that we couldn't see over here.
Well, their view is the same thing we had here on screen. So there's the big old brick in the middle of the. Good thing those aren't noodles anymore, man. Those things are hard to throw from the challenge angle. No, there goes the brick. Ryan Johnson gets out there and says, take that thing back. 1 red, 1 red. 2 and 2. Okay, what is going on here?
It should be
2 blue, 2 red. Okay, so they're going to give him points on the headlock.
2, and then 2 more for that second gut wrench. Right. Okay, I don't know why there would be points for Barbour there, but like I said, there's something going on that I guess I didn't see from over here.
Well, regardless, it's going to be 4-2, and the confusion continues.
And Barbour going after him a little bit, trying to. It's kind of the philosophy here is in the U.S. is keep wrestling until the match is over. You never know what's going to happen with that 5 seconds.
You're right about the demeanor of the Chinese guy. He really seems to just enjoy being out there. He's like, okay, thanks.
Yeah, and like I said, that Chinese guy's kind of one of those guys that's deceiving.